Hello and welcome back to Where the Demon Lurks. We will be continuing Toast's route. That's right, my favorite ghost, hyena. Anyways, so if you recall last, I believe Toast got a body? I might be misremembering it with a different route. He got a puppet body, which I think burned. They were fighting a demon. When the demon got kicked out, the person was speaking Tagalog, I think. That's about as much as I remember, unfortunately. I do know that Toast speaks Spanish, thanks to Morris's route, but yeah, that's about as much as I remember, unfortunately. So hopefully playing it will jog my memory back a little. But yeah, I technically know what's gonna happen because I talked to the developer. But yeah, I don't know how it's gonna happen. I just know something is going to happen. So yeah. Anyways, without further ado, let us continue Toast's route. In the Demon Lord's office, Vendrake mulls over the newest letter that has reached him. The Cerberus guards reported a spike in souls escaping through their defenses. They request that security in the torture zones be improved. They have the gall to put the blame on my security unit? If they need others to do their job, why am I even keeping them on the payroll? It seems that 3 heads is not better than 1 in this case. Suddenly, Vendrake's important work is interrupted. Vendrake sighs. He already knows what this means. He gets up from his seat and walks over to the demon, groaning on the floor. The creature has bruises all over. Whatever did them in was not holding back. I swear, why must every freelancer find me when something goes wrong? The beaten Samolda groans loudly. Aren't you being a little dramatic? Let me guess, Kobu beat you, didn't he? He had help. From who? Meep. An escaped soul? You let an escaped soul beat you like this? What a disgrace to our company. He wasn't alone. There's more? Who, damn it? X or is Nell? A receptionist named Mel? What kind of receptionist wields such power? Samolda faints. Hey, don't you slack off on me. I'm not done with you. Vendrake's admonishment falls on deaf ears. Nox! Nox arrives through another portal on command, as if he had been anticipating his call. Yes, my lord? Take this mongrel to the treatment. Right away. Nox summons a portal beneath the demon, and Samolda falls through. A groan is heard as Samolda crashes into the ground for the 3rd time in 2 minutes. Once they reform, find out who this escaped soul is, and the identities of everyone else who was aiding Kobu. Kobu has allies? Apparently so. Troublesome characters by the sound of it. Put a notice out to the remaining freelancers. Be on the lookout for an escaped soul, and that blasted Mel. In the depths of Amare's workshop lie shelves of old, unused metal parts and retired inventions. The self-proclaimed genius general of the underworld walks amongst his collection, in search for the final piece of Kobu's snack-generating machine. Fortis drags his feet from behind while he carries a box filled with bits and bobs of Amare's mechanisms. As they proceed down the storeroom, the large demon looks around at the many labeled boxes that line the shelves. He can't make heads or tails of how they're arranged. Never knew that there was a storeroom like this in your workshop. Visit more often then. I'll show you my many vinyl record rooms. You listen to music? Music, environmental sounds, the soul's eternal screams of anguish, they all help me pass the tedious parts of making machines. So, this is like the room where you keep all the unused junk? Don't call it junk. The motherboards will hear you. They're very sensitive. This is where I store all the broken and retired machinery that I've gathered through the years.
Then, this is a graveyard, but for machines.
Yes, I suppose that's an apt comparison.
I already don't get why mortals do that, let alone you.
What's so strange about saving them? These machines deserve some respect for all that they've done, or tried to do.
It seems like a waste of space to do all this. Can't you just keep the blueprints and summon new parts? It would be easier than us searching through all of this.
An excellent idea. An item tracker would do just the trick. Fortis, help me find the tracking chip and then 10 other parts.
Hold it. That sounds like more work than what we're already started. Just do it later.
They walk a bit further before Amare stops. Alright, the motherboard should be somewhere in this row. Help me look. They should be on the second shelf. We're looking for one labeled snack making module.
10 souls say that I can find it before you do.
It's not a competition. Fortis sets the box down and the two split up in opposite directions.
Gears? No. Bulbs?
A soft yellow glow amongst the bulbs calls out to the demon. He reaches inwards and pulls out what looks like an arrow made of angelic light.
Hey Amare, why do you have this?
Amare turns and gasps. Fahrenheit. That's where it's been all these years. I thought that I'd lost that when I started my collection. Fortis takes a sniff of the arrow.
It has my scent. Wait, is this the arrow that struck me in the butt during the Great War?
Correct. I kept it after we pulled it out of you.
I'm surprised. I thought that you of all people despised the war.
I still do, but that doesn't stop me from collecting the many machines and weapons left behind from the fight. Fortis looks mournful at the arrow in his hand.
It hurts to remember, Amare.
I feel that would be doing those we wronged a disservice.
Easy for you to say. You were in the back lines while I had to lead the charge to up above's gate, watching ally after ally get struck down. We've come so far since then, but there are times when I catch demons who survived the war looking at me. Their eyes brimming with anger. After all, there's no one else to direct it to. The second Demon Lord has long passed. I'd give anything to just forget and start over.
I know. Even though I was tied to a forge, I saw the scars of the war and the broken bits of machines and weapons that were sent back to me. Sometimes, these broken hands of mine burn when I dream about the war.
Wouldn't it be great if we just forgot all that?
It's in remembering that I can remain grounded in the present, unlike some demons who choose to live in the glory days. Fortis begins to twirl the arrow like a baton. He appears lost in thought. That there arrow is a rarity, and never broke apart. I wonder what happened to the angel that conjured it. Are they keeping it held together?
Well, whatever it is, that bloke ain't getting it back.
How did you get hit with that in the first place?
It's a funny story.
With a twirl of his wrist, he flicks the arrow in the air and catches it. Then he raises the other hand to show all 5 fingers.
It was me against 5 of the up above goons, their bodies beaten and bruised. I figured that they would be easy to take down. Before I could though, one of their big shots showed up, this tall, regal-looking fella. I could tell just by the look in his eyes that he wasn't like the rest of them.
Was he as strong as you?
Ha! Not physically, but he had speed and magic on his side. I tried socking him here and there, but he kept blocking or dodging me. Then he pulled out this arrow and threw.
Fortis accidentally throws the arrow in hand.
Uh-oh.
The arrow zooms across the room, hitting the walls, ricocheting back at tremendous speed.
Duck!
Fortis is hit across the chest and is sent flying to the other end of the room. He slams hard against the wall, sending tremors throughout the facility. A box of random materials falls on the demon. Amare picks up the fallen arrow and sends it to his work table via the portal. Fascinating. So the arrow is imbued with the ability to bounce. Less damage on impact, but I suppose for a high-level angel, that would even hurt Fortis. Oh yes, Fortis, are you alright? Amare strolls over to his dazed friend.
Ugh, I'm good.
Fortis picks himself up and looks at the things that fell on him. Hey, I found the motherboard! Excellent. 2 notable discoveries in one go. I also found this. He pulls out a small black piece of fabric. Isn't this Nox's cloak? What is it doing here? I don't know what you're talking about. That's just a rag. One of Amare's extended arms snatches a cloth, crumbles it, and throws it into a stray box. It had a hoodie. It's just a rag. No, it's very obviously Nox's cloak. Fortis, while I do enjoy your humor, all I see is a dirty, traitorous rag. Okay. Amare brings the box of parts over to Fortis to put the motherboard in. That's enough time spent here. We should go. Suddenly, another portal opens before Amare can summon his own. Nox floats through. There you two are. Nox? Nox, you wouldn't guess what Amare took from you. Never mind. Amare, I think something is wrong with your security system. When I arrived at the front of the workshop, your robots attacked me. Oh, but of course. I had them set to take out traitors automatically. The lynx demon scowls at the frog, but Nox's expression remains unchanged. Why are you here, Nox? I have something important to tell you, Amare. Tell me later. We have a mortal to take care of, and he needs sustenance. The instruction came from Lord Vendrake. Well, that changes everything. Tell me, never. Nox looks over to Fortis, hoping for some support from his comrade, but the dog turns away. Fortis picks up the box of parts and the lynx general summons his portal. Time to feed a hungry alpaca. I'm coming with you. It's important that you hear this as soon as possible. Fine, just wait until we're done. You better keep the chatter to a minimum. You know how your questions can aggravate others. The 3 demons move through the portal and arrive right outside the pantry. Why didn't you teleport us inside? It's a security risk. We don't know how desperate the mortal is. He might try to run into our portals, and I don't want to find out what happens when he does. Well, at least not yet. Box in hand, the largest of the 3 takes out a key and opens a door. Fortis steps through and King leaps out from under a table. King screams while swinging his pan at the demon. He hits Fortis on the chest, and with a loud creak, the pan bends at the handle. King gasps loudly. Ha! You gotta try harder than that! He places the box on the floor and snatches the alpaca's pan. King reels back in fear. Ah! Don't hurt me! Anticipating a painful beating, King shields his face. However, no such beating comes, only the sound of metal screeching. Lowering his hands, King sees that Fortis has restored the pan to its original shape. Here, don't go breaking it. That's company property. Sorry. He takes the pan and puts it on the table. Fortis, would you please move? You're blocking the doorway. Fortis snorts before finding a place to sit, kicking their legs up onto the table. Although he appears to be relaxing, his eyes remain fixed on the alpaca. Hi there, test subject. King. King eyes the demon suspiciously. A slip of the tongue, honest. We're here to install your food-generating machine. Finally, food. Let me just guess the parts and rebuild it for you. The lynx walks over to the box on the floor and unpacks the parts. As he does so, King becomes aware of the floating frog before him. King quickly looks away while Nox notices him staring. But not before Nox approaches the alpaca. Hello, mortal. I am Nox, General of the Mental Torture Zone, and the second in command to the Demon Lord. Hello. Yeah, I remember you when I first got here. You left out traitor in your introduction. Amare, that's unnecessary. I am only stating the facts. Amare uses his many arms to carry the parts to the table. King feels that he's stuck inside an uncomfortable triangle between the demons, Amare behind him tinkering with his machine, Nox in front of him, guarding the door, and Fortis staring at him while man spreading to the right. This is feeling a lot like the time that me and the girls argued about why we all wore the same dress to prom. To his relief, Amare breaks the silence with a question. So, how are you enjoying your stay, King? King crosses his arms. It's terrible. Perfect. I mean, scratch that. Force a habit. We'll look into the logistics so that we can allow for a more hospitable stay. I don't need better service. I need to go home. King looks at Amare with pleading eyes. Please, look into your heart. I shouldn't be here. Somehow, looking at the alpaca's big, round eyes awakens the cat's desire to protect him. Oh, no. The sarcasm is thick in his voice. We could never defy our almighty, all-knowing, all-powerful leader, Vendrake. No way, not on. Turn away, mortal, for I cannot help you. Amare winks. I saw that. Amare, you're putting your position in jeopardy if you disobey our lord. Funny how you're thinking about my welfare now, Nox. You are important to the underworld. If you give Lord Vendrake reasons to remove you, I bet you both would love that. Replace me with some other demon that's more obedient. I didn't say that. You're being immature, and I won't let you throw your career away for one mortal. Amare tightens his gloved fist. He looks at the alpaca once again, dejected. Sorry, I really do want to help, but, the tattletale right there will make it impossible. King sighs and resigns to his seat. The awkward atmosphere returns as Amare continues to rebuild his machine. The sound of metal clanking serenades King as he thinks about how he would escape. Several minutes pass. It is done. Amare's announcement snaps King out of his rumination. Finally, I nearly fell asleep watching you work. Amare stands before the group, presenting as though he were a salesperson. This machine can create any dish or raw ingredient from Earth. It looks like a microwave. Exactly. Watch me as I use it. He presses a combination of buttons and the machine whirls to life. King can see thick white smoke swirling behind the glass. In under a minute, the pseudo-microwave dings. Amare opens the door and pulls out a bag of chips. Ta-da! Give it a try! One of the floating limbs opens the bag and grabs a chip, while another takes the packet to pass the food around. The arm serves Fortis, skips Nox, then King before returning to Amare. Those with chips in hand take a bite out of them. It tastes like cardboard. Tastes like a regular old chip to me. Yes, this is what the food is always like. You guys can't really be satisfied with this, right? The demons shrug. Okay, maybe it's because it's processed food. Can we try something freshly cooked? Of course, let me show you how. Amare demonstrates how the machine's buttons work to King. The alpaca keys in the combination to generate a bowl of spaghetti Bolognese. Once again, the food materializes from nothing. Looks fine to me. It's the taste that matters. The alpaca grabs a few forks and washes them before handing them out. One for Fortis, Amare, then Nox. You want me to try it? Just ignore him, King. I doubt that he has any interest in this. Well, we need more tongues to confirm my theory. So all hands on deck, please. The frog reaches out and takes the fork. Okay, let's try it together. Each of them take a bite of the generated meal. King winces. The bolognese sauce is bitter and the pasta overcooked to mush. The dish has the undesirable consistency of baby food. In contrast, the demons shrug to each other before firmly slurping down the noodles. Tastes normal. Yes, this isn't what the dish tastes like. It reminds me of the mealworm soup that I usually have. You all need your taste buds checked. This is unacceptable. We're demons. We don't need to eat or drink to live. We just do it because it looks fun. The only demon who cared about how food tasted was Kobu. Perhaps that's why he stopped using my machine. Why does the taste of their sustenance matter so much to mortals? King puts a hand on his heart. Because I live to eat. The purpose of living is to continuously find sustenance? Not literally. Eating is more than just the food that you consume. It's about bringing people you care about together. It's how we mend sadness, and it's the easiest way to tell someone that you care about them. All of that is like life, a roller coaster of experience. Life. A roller coaster ride. Interesting. King scratches the side of his head. I'm just talking out of my ass. Why don't I get to cooking and show you all how it's done? King summons some raw tomatoes and carrots. He takes a bite out of each, nodding in approval of their tastes. So most raw components are fine, which means that the machine just can't handle making a decent dish from the get-go. I know what to do. King heads for the cabinets where the pots, pans, and portable gas stove are kept. Invigorated by his passion for cooking, King's movements become graceful yet precise. King then proceeds to generate a myriad of ingredients, spices, and condiments he knows by heart. He starts washing, prepping, and cooking the ingredients into his own spaghetti bolognese. Fortis and Amare take a seat at a nearby table while Nox remains on guard at the door. As the mortal moves about, Amare takes down various notes with his floating hands. Fortis crosses his arms and keeps his eyes glued on the alpaca. King weaves from one task to another. In a matter of minutes, he has the completed dish. The pantry is bathed in the aroma of simmering tomatoes. Pasta's up! King prepares 4 plates. 3 are prepared with minced beef. The other is vegetarian-based for himself. He approaches Fortis, Amare, with a wide grin and places the plates in front of them. Then he pushes the other plate to Nox, who is smaller in width than the meal itself. Dig in! Fortis and Amare examine the steaming hot plate of spaghetti in front of them before turning to each other. You see anything different? Well, I detect a hint of cheese. Right, I use Parmigiano Reggiano. They shrug and take their first bite. This is delicious! How can food taste like this? The two of them continue eating with gusto. King smiles before turning his attention to Nox, who is just staring at the food before him. Something on your mind? If you're not a cheese person, I can make another plate for you. I am perplexed. Nox hesitates for a moment, but the need to ask has been boiling up inside of him. While uncharacteristic of him, he considers that there would be no harm in seeing what insight the mortal could provide to his understanding of life. Fortis's ears perk upwards upon noticing the exchange. Tell me, mortal. I am certain that I've left a less than approachable impression, especially after what my other colleagues have said about me. Yet, you still choose to include me. I've been raised to know that no one deserves to starve. Even someone who cut down one of your only hopes for escape? Not even you. And I kind of feel bad that Amare was giving you such a hard time. The frog croaks. Amare has his reasons. I think that you should consider your feelings more, Nox. Nox's eyes widen. You're not the first person to tell me that. Whoever it was mustn't have been so bad. Maybe you should listen to them. I'll ponder on that for a bit. For now, allow me to repay your kindness. Discard any notion of escaping. Beyond those pantry doors, your only way out is through the elevator that you came from. You do not know how to operate it, and even then, you'd be had by another demon long before you reached Earth. King's fingertips turn cold, his mind playing out that many ways the demon would have had their way with him. You have a funny way of repaying kindness, Nox. The alpaca breathes and puts on a weak smile. I'll take your advice into consideration. But if I can survive the big blouse blowout sale at the mall against everyone else in the Kibbleton, I won't let a bunch of demons stop me. I don't see the similarities between demons and shopgoers. Tell that to the lady that nearly bit my right arm off over a scarf. Honestly, I was more of an autumn than she was. King returns to his seat to eat. He silently doubles his willpower to remain composed as he considers how he can escape and help Kobu. Nox, on the other hand, stares with longing eyes at the cat demon scarfing down spaghetti. He ponders his orders from Vendrake and the uneasiness that has been dormant within his heart. The frog demon takes a bite of the spaghetti. A small smile breaks as he finds some relief in the mortal's meal. A few minutes pass and everyone is done with their meals. The generals gather by the door, ready to leave. That was a pleasurable experience. I look forward to studying what else you can cook up, King.
Vendrake's going to ride your ass harder than ever if you keep avoiding your work.
What's the worst that he's going to do? Kill me? We can't die. Fortis frowns. Noticing his ally's concern, Amare grumbles but ultimately concedes to the larger demon. Fine. I'll do the bare minimum. I need some time to think about how to help Kobu anyhow. Nox, what's the job that Vendrake told you to pass to me? Job? Oh. All he has to do is tell Amare to prepare to go to Earth to kill Kobu. Though now, his heart and mind are at war about what to say. Lord Vendrake said to finish your work as soon as possible. His patience runs thin. Amare raises an eyebrow at the frog. Sure. Alright, let's go. Bye-bye, King. As the demons leave through the front door, the bejeweled hand that cradles Anox gives the impression of a nod before floating away. Alone once more, the alpaca draws out a long sigh. He takes a seat and deliberates what his next plan of action is. Getting out through the door is still my best chance. Perhaps if I can learn how the elevator works, I might be able to get back home. I better keep talking to those generals. Maybe, just maybe, they'll let some clues slip. Stretching his arms up, the alpaca looks at the messy pantry. I'll think about it more after I'm done with the dishes. Fortunately, hauling a burnt-up wooden doll through the town doesn't attract any unwanted stares. When you arrive at your apartment, you and Lucien place the puppet on the coffee table. You momentarily contemplate its lifeless form, sprawled out before you. Shaking off your thoughts, you take a seat on the sofa. Toast floats over beside you. He's frowning. You wonder if he's upset over losing a new gift, or if he feels responsible for what happened to it. Lucien plants himself upon the beanbag to your right. He crosses his legs and sinks backwards slowly into the seat until he ends up looking at the ceiling. Toast, would you mind watching the door for Morris? Lucien cuts in before Toast can reply. I'll do it. The angel tries to get up, but the beanbag has him in its clutches. He flails his arms and legs in his hopeless attempt for freedom. What is this damned contraption? You flick your head towards the door to let Toast know to go ahead. Meanwhile, you hop to your feet and help free the angel from his beanbag prison. Lucien quickly throws his head into the air as though to say that he never needed the help. Dude, chill. What's got you so on edge? Lucien scoffs. He looks over to Toast, making sure the ghost is out of earshot before whispering to you. I'm merely concerned that you're putting too much faith in that ghost. He's just watching the door. Even that. Is that a wise decision? I've been thinking about the battle earlier. I thought that it was over and I realized that you were risking it all on Toast to land the finishing blow. You flinch. Well, you know, you lose the shots that you don't take. Uh-huh. The mechanisms of your mind vexes me. I would have instantly assumed that he had abandoned us. Come on, Toast wouldn't ditch us. You look over at the ghost who's preoccupied by sticking his head through the door. He wouldn't. You turn to Lucien. Right? The angel's arched eyebrows sufficiently tell you his opinion about Toast. In my mind, your answer depends upon the following question. Who is Toast?
Someone's coming.
Huh? Toast retracts his head back into the room. A knock follows from behind the door.
Who is it?
What? It's me, Morris. Open up.
Morris who?
Morris sighs loudly from the other side.
Really? We're doing this?
Okay, it's Morris Boris, the exorcist.
Hold up.
I don't see your name on the list. What's the password?
Password?
What?
Nope.
This is ridiculous.
Nuh-uh. Try again.
Concusa! The magical collar shocks Toast. He falls onto his back with his arms flailing about. Kiki, ow! Kiki. Lucien leans close to your ear. I told you so. You can already picture his smug face without turning to the dog. You walk to the entrance, stepping across the convulsing hyena. You should have just opened the door, Toast.
No.
Toast, you're not being shocked anymore. Oh, you're right. He rises and floats behind you like nothing happened. Morris opens the door, stomping his way in. He glares at Toast, who just snickers at him. You... He points at the ghost. Come with me, I'm fixing the bloody puppet.
Sweet.
The boar snatches up the puppet on the table and enters the kitchen with Toast following along. You pass the time scrolling through your phone and trying to get Lucien's interested in what you find. A few minutes later... Bam! I'm back, baby! Toast slides into the room, his hand raised high, signaling you to high-five him. Sporting a grin, you do a little jump to reach the hyena's hand. Come on, I barely felt that. Here, give my arms a real squeeze. He flexes his right arm. His grapefruit-sized bicep bulges upwards. You're a little bashful at first, but you step close to press your fingers on his bicep. Wow, that's strong. Good to see that you're in tip-top shape. It's like the battle never happened at all. Morris cuts in, forcing you to pull back from the ghost. Why, thank you. I think I did a pretty good job at fixing up something like that for the first time. The nobody is pretty resistant, so I didn't need to do much. I even added a little upgrade to it to improve the user experience. If you're giving upgrades, be sure to give them a sense of self-preservation. Hey, I did pretty good back there. Yes, your ability to get in the way was astounding. You're one to talk. One fireball and you're crying like a baby. I thought angels were tougher than that. Lucien growls at the boar. Guys, don't fight over it. It was our first battle and we all still need to learn to work together. Maybe a little training could help? They simultaneously grunt and turn their heads at the suggestion. You guys... Sighing, you take a seat on the floor in front of the coffee table. The three of them remain standing. Slowly they look to one another, as though waiting to see who would sit first. Toast is the first to take the seat, to your right, while Lucien takes your left and Morris sits across from you. Anyway, there's still two more things that we need to talk about. Oh. First, my watch. Oh. He raises his right arm and gestures towards where his watch used to be. Right, how much do I owe you for that? $10,000. What? How? Is that a lot? That is like 100,000 pieces of bacon. Why is it that expensive? It's a one-of-a-kind watch. There's only one guy in town that can make another, and this was the best that I could bargain for. 10,000? How about, I let you have one of the novelty watches from the store? Kids love them, and you can get one with your favorite superhero. Morris crosses his arms. There's also a pink one with a red panda who sings heavy metal, if that's more your style. Morris remains silent, his stern gaze fixed upon your face. Alright, I don't have the money. Can you at least wait until after we rescue King? Maybe I can pull some out from the underworld treasury? Do I have to make it obvious? I can't fight at 100% without the watch. Huh? I don't get it. Come now, Kobu. You must know how mortals hold superstitious beliefs that their belongings affect their performance in life. A sentiment I find hilarious. Luck manipulation treasures are rarer than even four-leaf clovers, yet mortals will believe in anything holding some sentimental value. Wait, but what about my lucky underwear? I won every fight wearing those. Perhaps the stench incapacitated your foes. You think that I care about how lucky I am? That watch could sap magical power. As a consequence, it kept my powers in check. What's wrong with your powers? Morris sighs. I don't like people knowing, but I lose control over my powers if I use it too often, or if I get too emotional. That's why I'm more used to using exorcism tools. It wasn't until I got that watch that I dared to use some of my own magic. Okay, so it's important. But I really can't afford to pay that much. Morris closes his eyes and rubs his temples with one hand. There's another way. The guy who makes the watch is also offering a job that will pay 10 times what the watch costs. 100 grand? To do what? To take out a ghost at the End Hotel. Take out a ghost? Alright, but I don't kiss on the first date. Not like that. They mean exorcising the spirit haunting the place. Where exactly is the End Hotel? It's the only hotel located, well, literally at the end of town. It's the first building that you'll see as you cross the bridge into Kibbleton. Oh yes, I seem to recall that place now. A dreary-looking building that I thought was abandoned. Strange. I never detected the presence of a spirit when I arrived. Then it's no big deal. Bet it's a pipsqueak of a spirit, barely a wisp. The people who've gone missing or died over the years would disagree. Lucien crosses his arms. Hiding in a town where no demon or angel would enter, is it? Clever. Up Above's reputation would suffer if it were to fester here any longer. Still. He bites his right thumb. For a second, you get the sense that Lucien's thoughts are overlapping with your own. But doing this will distract us from saving King. And Archon. Yes, that too. Not necessarily. You guys need to get to the Archon. The easiest way to do that is to buy your way into the cult. After all, what rogue religious group would refuse free money? I just need a small piece of the reward for the watch, and you can use the rest as a bribe. Really? You'll just give away the rest of the money to use? If it's to save King, I don't mind. I'll even sweeten the deal and cover the room cost while we're working on the exorcism. That means a free vacay. Now this is what I'm talking about. Toast pulls Morris into a hug, smothering the boar's face between his pecs. Toast's crew's looking out for one another. This is what we're talking about. The hyena throws his fist into the air while keeping the flailing Morris trapped in his ample bosom. As long as this is in the service of getting Kobu back to the underworld, I'll humor you all. Heck yeah, let's party. With a strong push, Morris breaks free from the hug. The boar gasps loudly. He brushes his hair into place and looks at you. Ahem. So, how about it? You nod. Yeah, let's send the spirit back to the underworld. Woohoo! I'll make a reservation for 2 days from now. We'll go through the information about the hotel on our way there. You nod. And before I forget my next headache, I'll need your personal information to make the booking. You angels and demons have that, right? You and Lucien nod, which pleases Morris. There's just no escaping the bureaucracy engine, is there? Kobu, that's just how all hotels work. We do it too. Fine, but it's still annoying. You both pull out your business cards. Yours is just black, embossed with the golden insignia of the underworld. A minimalistic amount of text is written in the demon language below it. Lucien's is pearly white with a painting of his face on one side. A dense block of text in the angel language covers the rest of the card, along with a small but elegant signature. The gentle strokes and watercolored portrait bring to mind memories of Gary showing you his paintings in the meetings past. As Morris takes the card, they morph into identification cards that Designate you and Lucian as residents of this country. Convenient. These are like the death passports that we use for our spirits and familiars. I assume more than forgery is involved. The audacity. Lord Gary makes every asset at up above by hand. This card is no different. When an angel comes down to earth, the card brings God's blessings and alters all mortal systems, to include the angel's identity. Mine's pretty much the same, except it curses all mortal systems instead. I go to Earth so often that I have to have one on me at all times. Tomatoes, I suppose. Morris takes a picture of the cards before returning them. He then turns his attention to Toast. Now you. I left my ID in my other pants, back in LA. Probably 6 feet under. I know. That's why I'm gonna make you a new set of identification documents. Are we going to be spies and break into a federal building, forging documents and dodging laser-rigged booby traps? Ha! Booby. Did I not mention death passports? It's a pain in the arse, but there's a lot of red tape all over the world. We have specific exorcists capable of altering and planting identities for spirits we partner with. A tad archaic, but I suppose it works. Alright, what do I gotta do to get this passport? Hang on, let me call someone. The boy takes out a plain-looking black smartphone. You remember seeing that model advertised 3 years ago. He dials his contact's number and sets it on the table. The dial tone beeps loudly from the phone's speakers. Your toes itch with anticipation on who is on the other end. The call connects. Hello? The moon smiles upon the weary traveler. Unaware a demon has stolen the traveler's shadow. Morris. Douche. The other person on the line bursts into laughter. Little sweet tooth Morris, you still kicking it all this while? Ha ha. Disappointed? Au contraire. I'm having problems summoning my personal demon. Why don't you come by and fill in the role? Real funny. I'm not calling for idle chit-chat. I need a death passport. Finally, got a little ghost pet of your own? Surprised anyone would want to work with you. Yeah. Look, I'm in a hurry. Well, howdy. You and everyone else in the exorcist's house. I'm running on fumes without a demon to summon, so you can take a number and maybe, just maybe, I'll get to you before the end of this year. Come on, this is important. I've got a job due in 2 days and it's big. Bite me, your highness. This douche is a dick. You and Lucian nod simultaneously. Morris remains silent for a minute. You shake your head towards him, irritated by douche's attitude. Morris just shrugs back. You suppose that he's used to this by now. Alright. If I don't get my passport right away, then someone might let it slip that 7 years ago a certain skunk skipped out on his monastery guard duties to make out with every girl in the village pub. The same night, we got attacked by a horde of ghouls, and Master Keenox lost his right eye. Douche falls silent. You raise an eyebrow, wondering if that worked. Once, just once, I'll let you skip the line, but you better forget all that. That depends on how fast you can make my friend his passport. Now let's get to it. Tch. Morris turns to the rest of you with a smile and a thumbs up. I need to ascertain the ghost's particulars to avoid any clashes. Just place the phone close to it. The boar pushes the phone towards Toast. With a nod, he signals to the ghost to speak. Hi? You're the ghost, right? Just don't do anything. I'll let my magic scan you. A blue magic circle appears above the phone's screen and flashes before light radiates all over the hyena. Is this safe? It's just a spell to detect the records of this ghost's previous identity. Easier than playing 20 questions with a ghost who, more than often than not, have no recollection of who they really are. The blue light fades away, signaling that it's done. Okay, I got your obituary. Tomas Eduardo, date of death, May 15th, 1993. Died in Los Angeles due to cardiac gunshot wound. Yeah, I remember that much. How did you go from Tomas Eduardo to Toast for a name? Tomas sounds close to Toast. Oh. Let's move on, people. I don't have all day. You feel like you want to ask Toast something, but the question slips from your mind. I just need the ghost's new identity and we can finalize the passport. What's your new name, Ghost?
I can have any name? Nice. Then I want Ultra Rex Megastar.
He said a new name, not a stripper's name. Just keep it simple. Toast's eyebrows furrow.
Simple, huh? I guess I will just keep Toast since everyone knows me by that.
I know, Toast à la mode. I suggest Toast au fromage.
You two are not helping. Toast Eduardo, then.
That's no different from the original name. You sure?
The name Eduardo is important to me. I want to keep it.
It's fine. Alright, I've tuned my magic circle. Build a circuit, Morris.
Got it.
The boar pulls out a small black notepad. He opens it to the first blank page. He takes a small needle and pricks his finger. Using the blood, he draws a magic circle on the paper.
The circuit is complete.
You sense powerful magic emanating from the phone. Radiant ocean, pulsating current. Remake the world as I see fit. Dolus. The blood-stained notebook glows a bright blue, and the pages turn rapidly. A bright explosive spark envelops the notepad. The light subsides and the book is now branded with an inscription on the cover. It's done. Don't call me again, Morris. The phone call ends just as harshly as it had begun. Morris picks up the transferred book and his phone. Upon touching his hand, the notebook transforms into an identification card, not unlike the cards that you and Lucian handed him earlier.
The phone battery is nearly dead, but at least we have what we need.
Morris snaps a picture of the false ID and hands it to Toast.
Hey, it even has my picture on it.
You peek around the hyena. You can see the identification card with Toast's new name indicating him as a citizen of this country.
Cool, it works. Yep, you better not lose that. Just think of what kind of document you need, and it will transform into it. Remember to rip out a page if you need to pass it to someone else. The magic will even affect any technology in case anyone tries to check it.
Lucian peers over Toast's other shoulder and smirks. Look at how much they need to imitate a fraction of our powers, Kobu. It's the results that count, Lucian.
Alright, I'll head back and make the reservations. I'll send further instructions when it's time to head out. Thanks for the free ID.
Morris takes his leave. So, what now?
Well, it's way past breakfast. Why don't I cook us some sausages and eggs? Yes, finally!
Food again? Well, I'll leave you two to it.
Oh, no you don't. We're cooking together.
Toast grabs you and Lucian's wrists before taking you both to the kitchen. This is ridiculous. I don't need food.
You don't need to be such a sour pup. Now, quit your yapping and marinate that sausage.
Lucian, no. Don't use your feathers to wipe the sauce on it. The rest of the afternoon you spend cooking with your friends. Come evening, it's time for your shift. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we have, I suppose, Toast's original name. Tomás Eduardo. If I recall correctly, I'm trying to remember what Libra told me. Toast may or may not be Hispanic, but he was raised by a Hispanic family or by a Hispanic man. And he lives in LA, so yeah. I'm gonna just assume in my own little headcanon that he's Mexican American. Like me. Anyways, so yeah. What else? I already know Toast's brother's name. I'm thankful that they used that spelling and not the other spelling that the rest of Mexico uses. For some people that might not make any sense right now, but it will eventually, hopefully, in the next video. What else? Well, it's interesting to see what's going on in the underworld right now. I am wondering if Nox is going to be influenced by King. Technically, Amare is already being influenced by King, but I think it's more on a professional level rather than a, like, ooh, this human is influencing my emotions. No, it's like I have a human here who I get to study, and I'm gonna make sure to take care of them, but like you're taking care of them like you would a pet, like a dog. I am curious what's going on in Fortis's head. I'm pretty sure that he's sort of having his own little internal battle between knowing that things are going wrong in the underworld and wanting to just toe the line because that's the easiest thing to do. Like, he probably doesn't really get why Amare is being so rebellious, because he doesn't see himself doing that, I guess, maybe. But not because he doesn't want to, but because he doesn't know how to. And yeah, Nox, like, you can see that he's having his own internal struggle. He didn't want to tell Amare and the rest of them, like, oh yeah, we have to go topside and kill Kovu ourselves. Which is probably gonna eventually blow up in his face when Vendrake is the one that has to tell Amare and Fortis, like, hey, I told you guys that you had to go up there and kill him. And then Amare's gonna be like, why didn't the frog tell me? Was he keeping that from us? And blah, blah, blah. It's just traitor. But yeah. Poor King. Just stuck in the middle of this. But yeah, so what are your thoughts, on what's going on? Do you still like Toast the most? Is Lucian your little good boy? Or do you like Morris? Write down in the comments. And thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Where the Demon Lurks, you can do so by going down into the link in the description for their Twitter page. And I think they also have a Blue Sky now, so I will be linking those down, as well as their Patreon, where you can subscribe and get early access to builds of Where the Demon Lurks. And if I recall correctly, I think the next one that's going to be updated is Morris? So we have that to look forward to. Yeah, I think it's Morris because Lucian was the one that got the CGs. So yeah. Anyways, I completely forgot what's going on with Morris, so when it comes time to recording, we'll go from there. Anyway, so also coffee, link down in the description in case you want to, donate to me, or, the channel memberships. You should be seeing people's names who are currently, as of November the 3rd, subscribed to be a member. And depending on the tier they subscribe, they will just get, this channel shout out. And, they'll be able to see the community posts and stuff like that. And if they're tier 2, they will be seeing this video before everyone else. So yeah. Woo! But yeah. Also, little badge by your name, regardless of the tier that you subscribe to. And also, you get to use, like, little Yin emotes. You just have to type Yin, I think, and then it'll try to automatically, like, show you which ones you could use or whatever. I don't know. They're there. Look for them. Anyway, so yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.